Where would you compare this chamber with other chamber matches on paper before we start it?
On paper, there's one big advantage that this one has that earlier events didn't. And that's because now we have a woman's and a men's. So remember, when they first started doing two in one night, they were doing one for Raw and one for SmackDown. So automatically you'd have a couple of main eventers, but you'd have to fill it with mid-card talent. Because this one is the only men's one, and it's from both brands, it's like an all-star game. So that's why you're getting this really great lineup. So it's really in how they booked it this year. But I agree, on paper, this one could be top five easy for talent.
What other ones would you rank that with your top five?
Going in or comparing it to the matches as they happened?
I would say setting it up. So walking into the Elimination Chamber.
All right, then I'd have to go with probably my favorite one of all time. New Year's Revolution 2005 was the best build because it was for the vacant title. You had Triple H, who had just lost the title, Orton, who held the title the year before, Benoit, who held the title the year before, Chris Jericho, who was a former world champion, and Edge and Batista, who are both really hot upper mid carders that you knew were eventually going to be in the main title picture. And if you look a couple months after that at WrestleMania, not only did you have Batista winning the world title, but Edge won Money in the Bank. So on paper, those six guys entering the match, that was its own all-star game for Raw.
If this lives up to the hype, we're in for a show. But my only fear, because what happened on SmackDown with Cody and The Rock, this might take away from it, unfortunately.
Well, that's where it really comes down to where this takes place on the card. Because if you open with the men's elimination chamber, and we already know who the new number one contender is, then all of a sudden, when they have The Rock and Cody segment later, if Cody says no, and The Rock literally just says, for example, Cena's the one who wins, The Rock looks right in Cody's eyes and says, well, then maybe I go talk to John. And then it builds intrigue and it builds on top of the Elimination Chamber. But if you have it happen first, and then we have the Elimination Chamber later, it's almost like an afterthought. We had the big moment with Cody and Rock, and now it's just, oh, and here's Cody's next challenger.
My last question for the night. This is something I've been thinking about too. The way everything's looking at this with this chamber, we've talked about Randy Orton coming back. I feel like this is going to be a chamber where there's going to be possibilities of people coming back. I mean, I could throw out three right now, but what three people would you see possibly showing up, and one do you think is almost a shoo-in for showing up?
I actually don't know if anyone interferes in this. Like we said, it's a very stacked lineup, and the only one I could really see would be Roman Reigns because his beef with both Punk and Rollins. But no one else really has serious issues unless all of a sudden Finn Balor still hates Damian Priest and costs him the match. So really, I just see Roman. But what do you got?
I definitely see Roman coming in when they open up the cage doors to let someone out. He's going to come in and take out Seth. Definitely. I'm almost 100% certain on that. I don't know if we get Orton coming back, and I don't know if we get Jade coming back exactly, but like you said, it all depends on where the matches go with the card. Whatever matches end, you're definitely going to see one main superstar come back, whether it be Cody or Roman or Jade. That's what my guess is.